It was a wintry December day on the island of Sodor. It had snowed a lot in the night, and Thomas was fitted with his snowplough to take passengers up and down the branch line. When Thomas stopped at the station, he saw a family with 2 children looking very miserable. "An avalanche has covered up our house," said a little girl. "The workmen said it will take a long time to clear it away," added a little boy. "Please help us, Thomas," they pleaded as they were about to board. "I'll see what I can do," replied Thomas kindly. "We'll ask the Fat Controller about it." At the big station, Thomas told the Fat Controller what had happened. "I don't know if we can clear your home in time for Christmas," he said, "but we'll see what we can do. And don't worry, you can stay here at the station until then." The family were thankful, but they were still sad. The station was okay, but it wasn't home. That night at the sheds, Thomas told the other engines. "I feel sorry for that family," he said sadly. "I can't imagine what it would be like if we lost our sheds." "We could wish on Father Christmas to help," said Percy. Thomas and Edward agreed. "He is kind," said Edward. "And magical," added Thomas. As the engines went to sleep, Thomas, Percy and Edward looked at the night sky and made a wish, asking for Father Christmas to help the family in need. Then after that, they fell straight to sleep. The days passed and more snow fell. Eventually it was Christmas Eve. The Fat Controller suddenly hurried out of his office just as Thomas dropped off his last passenger train for the day. "There is an emergency," he boomed. "An elderly gentleman has just arrived to the harbour by boat and has called to say his deer is sick. You must collect the deer, Thomas, and take him to the vet at once." Thomas was worried as he set off. "Can I get there in time?" he thought. Thomas arrived at the harbour just as the deer was being loaded onto a cattle truck. "Thank you very much," said the elderly gentleman. "Please look after him and make sure he is all right." "We will," said Thomas. And as he looked at the gentleman walking away, Thomas thought he looked very familiar for some reason, like he had seen him somewhere before. But he said nothing and hurried off to the vet as fast as he could. And they made sure he was all right. The next morning was Christmas Day. The engines awoke to a big noise outside the sheds. There was the Fat Controller and the elderly gentleman with his poorly deer, ready to take him home. "Thank you again, Thomas," said the elderly gentleman. "You have helped to save Christmas." Thomas was surprised, and so were the other engines. Just then the Fat Controller spoke. "And also, something wonderful has happened in the night," he said. "The family home that was hit by the avalanche has been cleared from all the snow and has been prepared for their Christmas holiday." The engines whistled in delight and were very happy now that the family can go back home. "Now, Thomas," said the Fat Controller, "I know we don't usually run trains today, but for this occasion, I'd like you to take the family back right away." "Yes, sir," said Thomas. Thomas had collected the family and hurried towards the station as quickly as he could. The station master was waiting with Bertie, and when Thomas arrived, he greeted the family warmly. "Thank you all very much," said the family. "You've all been very good and kind to us. Now we can enjoy and celebrate our Christmas together once again." Thomas was pleased. He whistled goodbye and a Merry Christmas to the family as they headed towards Bertie, who was ready to take them home. And then he puffed happily back to the sheds, ready to enjoy his long cosy rest and spend his Christmas time with his friends. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!